So things were just moving along just fine in 2008. We'd been building the business now down on 8th Street. Larger building, more employees, bigger customers, more of them, and things were going along just fine. And we decided to buy the building right adjacent to the Pro-Liquitech building. And so we put in an offer, negotiated it, got a price, and decided to buy it. And we were going to use our own cash. And so the closing date just happened to be on the day the stock market crashed in October of 2008.
NASDAQ, as we said, fully open, down 6%. That is a loss of 100 points. So let me also point out that the Friars Club did the open this morning. I don't know if it's a good morning for a laugh or not. Perhaps we all are going to need one after the day today. But let's take a look at the big...
All of a sudden, as most will remember, that came along, it seemed like it came along quite fast. And we tried to get out of that closing that morning, but the guys selling it were like, no way. So bring the cash, let's sign the papers, and we'll see you later. So we did. We bought the building, and we thought, well, we'll just sit on it because now we're going to hold on to our cash.
It was a little scary, but it was happening everywhere,
So we looked at our expenses at Pro-Liquitech. Hey, what are we spending money on? Here's the things that we can cut. Because the worst thing for me would have to be to lay off any employees. But it became evident quickly that we were going to have to lay off employees. And I believe that we laid off 2 originally and then 2 later. And that just crushed me. Like when you run a company like Pro-Liquitech, we're close. We're all working on the bench. We're all right there in the same space. We knew each other's families. We ate lunch together every day. And to lay off a coworker who's a friend it was unbelievably difficult, but we had to do it.
We'd already stepped past of, I'm not worried about the business making it. The business is, we have a solid foundation, and we had to do the cutbacks and stuff like that. And be careful, yes. But at that point, I wasn't concerned about the business shutting down.
I think I was kind of had like a temporary layoff-ish for supposed to be 2 weeks, but I ended up was out for 3 days, and they had me come back for 2 days, and then the next week I came in for 3 days, was off 2 days, it's just so I knew then that if they were, we were gonna have to be, if I was gonna be laid off for just 2 weeks and I was still coming back every week, they need to call me back in because we needed to make stuff. I was like, yeah, this is not something that's gonna last for a long time.
And we got through it, finally. So one of the things I learned during the downturn was just be very frugal with your money and be pointed at how you're serving your clients, and that'll serve you well later.
That day was very interesting. I remember coming to work, raining cats and dogs out.
By the time I pull into the side parking lot, I actually had water rolling up the hood of my Jeep.
I was over here at this bench, working. Next thing you know, water starts coming up from the drains in the floor. Water's coming under the walls. A few feet of water at the front door, and it's piled up against the glass at the front door. And Scott Reed in the back is banging to let him in.
And I was knocking on the door, let me in, and they were like, no, we can't let you in, it's gonna flood. Well, they were already standing in, 4 inches of water, and I had 1.5 foot of water at least out there, maybe 2 feet of water.
And I could not let him in, but I knew if I did, that all this water was gonna rush in. That water was rushing in from everywhere anyways.
We decided we had to abandon ship. So we all hopped in, I left my car, we all hopped in John's SUV, which I think was parked further back.
By the time we left, it was I don't know, mid-thigh high.
Dave was traveling, and I remember talking to him and saying, no, it's not that bad. There's nothing you can do about it. Just we'll figure it out when you get back. Well, of course, it was a catastrophic event.
So I fly back in, and I think I know they got some water, and I get close to Flavorman, and I see all these piles of stuff outside the front door. The front door was wide open. I pull around and park in the parking lot. All the doors to the building were open. There's a big dumpster that the stuff is in. I walk in and I'm walking around. It was like a war zone. And I thought, oh my God, and I mean, this flood, it's terrible. I can see things all over the place. The production area looked terrible.
We had all these dry blends that were on skids, and the boxes just completely just collapsed and fell in, and just so much stuff just falling over. It stunk.
I was thinking at the time, like, I just can't take it anymore. Like, this is the last straw for me. We've been through the downturn, and we got through that, and finally things are looking up, and now this big flood. I felt like just turning around and just flying somewhere. I had a million frequent flyer points. I could be long gone. One of my coworkers walks out and she says, oh my God, can you believe this place? But don't worry about it. We've got everything under control. We're on the second floor doing product development so our clients won't know. And we've developed teams to clean up, and we've, got everything ready to roll. So good to see you, and go on in and they'll tell you what your assignment is. Everybody's got assignments. And I went in the bathroom and I cried my eyes out because I was ready to just hang it up. I was done. And here was a coworker, basically probably scared to death for her job, or all of our jobs in this company, let me know everything's just fine. So I got myself together, and and I came out and I found out what my assignment was. And we spent a good month and a half, maybe 2 months, cleaning up. So, just another lesson learned. It's not all about myself and this company. This is truly a team, and I'm just part of it.